According to PwC UK's Her Tech Talent, time to close the gap. 3% of females say a career in technology is their first choice. 78% of students cannot name a famous female working in technology. And 5% of leadership positions in the technology sector are held by women. Women in Tech UK states that today's tech workforce comprises only 26 women. Why do these gaps exist? Are women not interested in tech? Or are they not being given opportunities to enter the tech space? Are countries and policymakers doing enough to close the gap and unearth the world's brightest women tech geniuses? How can this be solved? In this episode, I sit with two brilliant women, Otema and Kweyakie, founders of Because She Can, a community founded in Ghana that is championing significant change in their society by equipping women with relevant tech skills for today's market through mentorship and collaboration. Enjoy today's episode. This episode is brought to you by Big Spark. Big Spark is the UK's fastest growing data solutions consultancy, translating your business needs into data architecture, strategy, and engineering. Together with their technical partners, they focus on swift and efficient business value delivery. Taking an innovative approach to every challenge, Big Spark is an agile team of over 100 world-class engineers and data scientists pushing the boundaries of what can be achieved with AI, data, software, cloud, and machine learning. To find out how Big Spark can ignite your data solution, visit us at www.bigspark.dev. Big Spark, igniting change through engineering. So hello everyone and welcome to the TechSurf podcast, where we navigate today's tech wave one electrifying conversation at a time. I am your host, Raymond Kluche, and today I have two amazing women in my midst who are championing great change in the, I don't know what to call it, the United Regions of Ghana, sorry, Ghana for short. And I heard about them, I have seen them on social media, and I think it's a laudable initiative they've taken, and I just want to have them on board to, discuss it and get to know a bit about background, how they got here and the next stage. So without going further, I wouldn't want to spoil. I will let them introduce themselves. So I will first let you go, Otema, and then when you're done, Kweyakie can take over.
Okay, so my name is Otema Yirenkyi, co-founder of Because She Can. Um, I studied computer engineering at Ashesi University, but now I work as a data scientist and data engineer in a
Mm,
fintech based in Ghana. So
mm,
that's a little bit
that's
about
nice.
me.
That's nice. Kweyakie, over to you.
Okay, Atima, now you make me feel like I like talking.
I mean, between the two of us, we know.
I know, I
Well,
like talking.
let's see. She did that about in 15 seconds. Let's try. Let's see how you go.
Okay, so I'm Kweyakie Blebo.
Mm, right.
Well, I'm a data scientist too, but I actually thrive at the intersection of data science and technology auditing because it
Mm,
encompasses cybersecurity, risk management, governance, and compliance, and that's somewhere something I have a background in as well. And
mm,
beyond doing tech, I'm also co-founder of Because She Can, and it's a community that is very close to my heart because
right.
I'm passionate about the fact that we are able to empower women in technology, and
Right.
witnessing the growth of these women is both an inspiring thing and it's also fulfilling for me. And just to add a side note, if you don't find me doing these things, you would find me creating lifestyle content currently on Instagram. So you can check me out as well.
Right.
Yeah, she's
Right.
a
That's
content
nice.
creator. Life of
Oh,
Kweyakie
okay.
on Instagram.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. So tech, right?
I mean, okay, since she's added that, let me also add
Since she's
outside of
added your content creator, okay, then you go for it. Tell me, what did you miss? What do you do? I heard you.
outside
I
of
heard you like
tech.
to. I heard you like to go to the gym.
Me? That's one place you won't
Ooh,
find me. No.
Right. Okay. Tell me, what do you like to do then?
I'm a writer, so I do technical writing, but I also like to write poems
Okay.
and lot short stories, and I also do music production and a bit of DJing on the side. So
Oh, that's
that's
nice.
me.
That's nice. Well, we have ambidextrous, techies in this space, and that's nice because
Definitely.
even though I just also do tech, I also happen to do other things. So we'll get there. This is not about me; it's about because she can. So I'll stay on you guys. All right. So tech, right? I got into tech by chance in the sense that I think I keep saying tech found me. I wasn't one of those who was like always opening a mobile phone, trying to be around the computer. I'm more languages, art, creativity, and whatsoever. But then the career path I wanted to take led me into deciding or into choosing tech in the long run. Not because tech was the final destination, but it was going to support. I don't want to throw the spotlight on me, so I'm not going to delve into that. But you, Kweyakie, like tech, how did you just decide that okay, I'm going to do this tech thing? Where did it all stem from?
Okay, so first, I'll say I'm just like you. Tech found me.
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
I I grew up wanting to be a journalist, and then at some point, I switched, wanted to be a medical doctor.
right.
I even applied to medical school, it just didn't go through.
Mm,
And my final choice, of course, was information technology, right?
right.
And then, so tech found me. But
Mm,
then, the good thing was I always knew I wanted to be in the sciences, okay?
right.
And this is a little brag, but like my mathematics is up there.
Okay.
So it wasn't really a challenge for me in the information technology field. And then at
Right.
school, I just wanted to combine my programming knowledge with
Mm,
my love for math and statistics. And then I
right.
was like, okay, data scientist. So that is actually how tech and how data science and
Mm,
what I do.
right.
So tech found me too,
That's
I
nice.
guess.
Okay. Etima, did the tech find you too, or you found tech?
Um, I think both because growing up, I was always interested in sciences. I was
Mm,
always interested in technology. I had a computer at
right.
a very young age, so
Okay.
I was introduced to that. So I knew that I loved computers. I knew I loved something to do with engineering.
Right.
So when I went to when I was going to the university, I wanted to do something in engineering. It was
Right.
sort of like a no brainer for me. It had to be
Mm,
something engineering. And
right.
then I wanted to go to Ashesi.
Mm,
So I went to look for what kind of engineering courses that Ashesi offers. And the
right.
closest one that looked like something that would fit me was computer engineering. So then I just
Right.
picked it. So that's how
Mm,
I got into tech, into studying tech. But I've always known to I like the arts as well, but when it comes
right.
to like academic stuff, it's always been
Right.
science or tech or engineering.
Right. So what was your favorite subject? I can say Kweyak has already told me it's math. I don't know if it will stay as math, but then I'm just thinking out loud. What is your favorite subject, or what was your
Okay,
favorite subject
in
in HSC?
primary and secondary school, it was
Mm,
primary school. I don't even know, maybe math as well and
mm,
English. I really like English. Yeah, I
right,
think English was the top before science and math. Secondary school was geography, and I like math too. I did better in those ones than
right.
chemistry and physics. And then when I went to university, I knew that it was a different ball game. Math was no longer the same. I said,
Uni is not
wow.
uni is a scam. They lied to us, right? We were very excited about leaving senior high school, and then we get to uni, and we're like, yo, what
Yeah.
is this?
If you thought you were smart in secondary school, bro, uni would teach you
No,
something.
definitely, defo, right.
Yeah, so uni, I don't know. I think my favorite subject was not math in uni. It was something
Mm.
in related to art.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right. I think Ashesi has that, system where
liberal
you get a
arts.
chance to a
Yeah.
liberal arts system where you get to touch a lot of things. I'm sure Koyaki, we in Lego, and we kind of just
Mm-mm.
had to just bury our head in, a lot of mathy stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the both of you, how did you guys meet? Just because you're both data scientists, I don't want to believe that you guys just bumped into each other randomly, or maybe in a girls' community or something. maybe there's a background. How did you guys meet?
Okay.
Who wants to go? Yeah, Koyaki.
Okay, so Otima and I, we've known each other since Achimota school. So we're in senior high
Mm.
school
Oh, okay.
together. She was in a different house. Well,
Mm.
in school, Otima was not exactly my friend,
Right,
but
right.
I mean, we knew each other. And then after school, she was in Ashesi, I was in Legon. I think in
Mm.
my final year, that was your final year too, as well, right? When we
Yeah,
got into
final
the
year.
Azubi program. Yes. So we both found ourselves in the Azubi Africa Data Science Training
Right,
Program.
right.
And so we met there again
Mm.
and we realized that, oh, like our
There's a
values
bond
align,
here.
our passions align. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
why not?
Shout out to Azubi, actually. I think they've actually done a great job in, because I think when the whole data science wave started, if I look back, because I was in France at the time doing my master's, but I
Okay.
see how they were able to, champion like a lot of, young people. I know a lot of people who went to Azubi who may come from different backgrounds, but then they were coding, doing analytics, creating machine learning models, and like it
Yeah.
was very nice. I think Azubi and a few others, but I think Azubi, had a very, like it's very reputable, and shout out to them. So yeah, I think it's that's nice. So that's how you guys met. Otima,
Mhm.
did she leave anything out, or that's about accurate?
Yeah, that's about it really. Like we knew
Right,
each other, we had mutual
right,
friends,
right,
and then yeah, we
right.
connected again.
Okay, so when it comes to choosing a company name or a community name, I saw your name and I was like, okay, that's actually very upfront. Like, there's some names that like maybe Nokia. I don't know really what Nokia means. Maybe it means something else in a different. But yours just speaks for itself. You
Hmm.
don't need, like, definitely when you see it, you know that it has to do with women and it has to do with ability. I'm just thinking about. I'm just wondering what led you to have a very upfront um, name for the community you were building. Is it because you feel that the representation is lacking? That's why you just want to go hard, or it maybe came from a poem that Otima was writing one day. I don't know. I'll start from you, Otima. You tell me, how did how did because she can't come about the name because she
The
can.
name. Afi, you
Yes.
have to answer that question because it was Afi came up with the name.
Oh, well, okay. I think go for it.
Okay, so um, for me, it was simple. Okay, I was
Mm,
just thinking about it because one of our values is one thing we hold dear to our hearts is that
mm,
representation matters. Okay,
right.
and it's the name because she can came from knowing that before I continue, our tagline is when I
Mm,
say because she can, you respond, so can I. Okay.
okay.
It's it's together. So
Right.
it's just this way. If I should speak to a girl or a girl sees
Mm,
me, any little girl
right.
sees me, and then I
Right.
tell her, "Oh, I'm a data scientist," and then she asks me, "What
Right.
does a data scientist do?" And I explain it to
Mm,
her, and then she's like,
mm,
"Oh, okay, I want to be like you. I want to be a
mm,
data scientist
right.
today." So because I can do it, so can
Mm,
you too. And in that case, because she can, so
mm,
it's a show of um letting people understand that representation matters. That's number one. And number
mm,
two, the fact that
mm,
because I did it and I'm a woman and have
mm,
your experiences as well, you can do the
right.
same. So, yeah.
Right. Right. I was in a meeting sometime, and there was this lady who is quite, older, and think she's been in the tech space for a lot, like for a long time, and she's been in a lot of these communities, women in IT, women in tech, women in data, and everything. And she subtly said something like, "The more we are creating these women in stuff, it's maybe causing more disparity." And I just want to know from you guys. You guys are in this space. You guys have use the hashtags and everything. It's constantly talking about women in something causing more disparity, or rather raising more awareness. If that makes sense. If you understand the question I'm asking, maybe Otima, you can go for it.
Okay, so respectfully, I don't agree with what she said.
Right.
There is, in as much as we talk about women, and we are trying to shed more light on women in
Mm.
the tech space, and not even tech, in other career
In the
paths
right.
as well. We are we are so far from closing the gender gap,
That wide gap.
closing
Right.
the gender pay gap as well
Right.
in the tech space. And
Right.
it's I can't remember the exact year, but for maybe more than 10 years, the number of
Mm,
women who have been sustained in the tech industry has been dropping
mm,
as compared to the number of women that started. So
right.
it looks like we are talking about women so much, and we are trying to get them
Mm,
to enter into the space. But you tend to see that over time, even if we get the women into the space, we are not able to sustain them because
sustain
there's
them.
still systemically the things are not put in place to make sure that women remain in the tech space. So we need to
Right.
keep talking about it. We need to.
Right.
It's going beyond just trying to get women in the space, but talking
Mm,
about it and incentivizing other like the other gender to
right.
to
Create a
create
space
a
for them.
conducive, yes, space for
Right.
them to be able to
Right.
thrive and remain in the tech space. So it's
Right.
important that we keep talking about it because you go to a company and then a man and a woman who are working the same job, same hours, the man is still
Um,
being paid more than the woman, and they give flimsy excuses for why that is so. It's
mm,
something that we need to keep talking about. Something that we need to draw attention to and make
right.
sure that things are put in
Mm,
place. The police
right.
are put in place. Companies are
Right.
being aware of these
Right.
things. So it's
Right.
not something that we should stop talking about now because the
Right.
work is far from being done.
Right. 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 My when I finished school, my data science or like my the senior data scientist in the fintech I worked in France was a lady, and I wouldn't lie, a bit of that gender thing comes into mind, and the way you're looking at very heavy technical fields, people like when it's male dominated automatically, unfortunately, it like somewhere in our minds subconsciously be like, oh, it's like a male dominated thing, so automatically a guy will be better at it. but i
Hmm.
but I tell you the truth, this lady is exceptionally good at her stuff, and that was one like first correction for me, because I grew up in a household. My sister's an engineer as well, right? And when we were young, my dad never really made, oh, you cannot do that, you cannot do that. She actually read mechanical engineering, and I
Hmm.
ended up finding myself in there. And when I say mechanical engineering, she worked, at Modec, used to go into the FPS. So doing the, she's always been, a bit of a tomboyish. Shout out
Hmm.
to you, Nelly. And I've always, admired her from that point of view. And my parents corrected that thing quickly. Not saying that having to deal with it every day, in the job, like you go into the job market and automatically, when they say CEO, our minds just quickly go to a male whatsoever. I'm just thinking, per your experience, have you guys had to deal with any heavy form of gender disparity? You don't necessarily need to disclose the company or disclose the group whatsoever, but tell us your experience and how you navigated it. Maybe Koyaki, you can shed some light on
Okay.
any gender disparity you've had to experience and how you navigated it.
Oh, well, I think this is a story I think I've narrated so many times, but let me
Mm,
go again.
go for it. Go
So,
for it.
um, for me, I've had an incident, well, same company twice.
Mm,
I've had someone like point blank tell me like we don't like hire women in this department. Okay. And the thing is, I was the first ever woman to even occupy this role.
mm,
That's like number one. And then I had someone from
mm,
an adjacent department telling me that, okay, well, there's that. Second experience, right? I think that's what got to me the most. So in my role, right after my national service period, I was taken on, okay.
right.
And then in my first meeting, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, but
Mm,
my immediate supervisor just had to like resign. And
mm,
then I was in the role and I was good at what I was doing. So nobody saw a need to bring me a
right.
supervisor and I was just
Right.
working.
Right.
And after my first ever meeting, so when you do anything technology auditing, you you have to speak with your auditees after, right?
Right.
And I'm not circumstance not supposed to be the case.
Right.
Just take your findings to management and then they implement your
Right.
recommendations. But sometimes you
Right.
just need to be nice and sit with your auditees and let them know what you found out. And then the ones you can
Right.
fix, you take it to
Right.
them. My first ever audit that I did alone, right?
Mm,
I sat in a meeting with my auditees. trying to point out my findings and then what they can do to fix it. And I had
Mm,
someone in top management
right.
just tell me that I need you to take this out of a report. And then
Mm,
I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
right.
it doesn't make sense. And
Right.
I will not just only blame it on gender because this
Right.
conversation is not about ageism, but I think both played a
Right.
critical role because
Role.
I
Right.
was very young and
Right.
um, I'm still young, but then I mean, my gender and then my age played a very important
Your age.
role in this because
Right.
this had never happened. Of course, they disagreed when my
Right.
boss was around and before he left.
Mm,
They disagreed with him on certain things, but no one ever told him that take this out of a report. Like it was a direct
mm,
order, right? So let's just
right.
talk about how I navigated it and how I dealt with the situation. There's something I keep saying that in order to be able to combat these things, you need to know your stuff.
Mm, mm,
Sometimes people, I mean, when you find yourself in this situation, people actually treat you that way because they feel that you are
mm,
there as a diversity hire and you don't know your stuff.
mm,
And this is a chance to
right.
actually prove them wrong. Okay.
Right.
So here's the thing. For example, in an organization, you have something like the head of the IT department. Okay.
Right.
And then my observation is that why is that the head of IT department has this access to the system? I mean, has administrative access to the system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you are asking me to take this observation out of my report because your answer
Mm,
to that
mm,
question is that he's the head of
mm,
IT. But that is wrong because when you go through the
mm,
policies of the organization and even regulatory policies, access is
mm,
given on a need to know basis.
mm,
There and then I pointed it out to them. I pointed them out to the
right.
policy documents that states that. There was no need to fight about it. Just let
Mm,
them know that I know my stuff. And that was the end of it.
right.
So I
Mm,
think sometimes it may be a little demeaning. You may not be happy, but then I think when you expect this or you see these things coming, your best
mm,
bet or the best way to handle these things actually show whoever is trying to undermine you that you actually know your stuff.
mm,
Yeah.
right. I really like that. Know your stuff. And yeah, because unfortunately, a lot of men have been socialized to look at the yeah, to some extent, yes, the weaker vessel. But I have worked with women, and I think some of the smartest people I've met in my life have been women. And I'm always, intrigued by how the multitasking ability of a lady and one who knows her stuff. And I think that is it. So when you get yourself in such an environment, knowing your stuff and pointing it out and not letting your age or your gender get in the way sounds very much a, a good thing to do. Otima, would you want to share a bit of experience or how you have had to navigate this gender disparity gap in the tech space?
Yeah, so for me, one of the experiences that one of the things I've had to experience is people or men in my workplace playing
Right.
down my achievements,
Mm,
especially when you are also very young in the space
right.
and you're able to achieve something, you're able to finish up some work that maybe you haven't done before, but you're able to complete it, and then they're like,
Mm,
oh, this isn't even anything. Like, wait until you get to
mm,
do this stuff, wait until you get to do this. Like, playing it down. And I don't think I've ever heard them say it to or any of the other developers around
mm,
me. But
mm,
then it's like, when I'm able to do something, in a specific field or a specific topic, then it's like, oh yeah, you did well, but then it's not even as good as what we can do.
mm,
You just have
right.
to shut it out. Like
Right.
shut, especially when it's coming from higher up. You have to
Right.
shut it out and tell yourself that you know where you're coming from and you know how far
Yeah.
you
You
have
deserve it.
gotten.
You put in the work and
Yeah, you know the work that you put
it's
in.
worth the praise. Even if it doesn't come from them, you
Yeah,
own the
you
praise. And I
have to
think,
give yourself that praise, and you have to
yeah,
remind
and
yourself that yeah, you have got this, and you are the one that did it yourself.
right,
Yeah. So
right.
I think yeah, women have had to deal with that. I personally have had to deal with that and it can be very annoying.
That's
One of the other things I've had to deal with would be sexual advancements, because when you're working
mm,
in a space where it's just most often than not, I've been the only female in all the teams that I've worked with. I think it was only
right,
one team that later on had like two other women join us.
right,
They were even remote, so
right.
barely any interaction. But
Mm,
being in a space where you are the only girl, some of them try to talk to you as if they own you in some way, or
mm.
they expect a certain level of care. I don't know what it is, but like the fact that I'm the
It's a
only woman
submission
in.
complex, unfortunately.
Exactly. Like, I'm not your mother. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not here to
No,
please you or
I'm
make you
your
feel
co
comfortable,
I'm
feel
your
good.
co-worker, and let's keep it
Yeah, I'm
at
your
it.
coworker. You
That's
treat me
that,
the
yeah.
same way you treat all the other guys on
Right,
the team.
right,
So
right,
when you speak up against that, I had an experience sometime and then spoke up against it, and then it's like everybody was kind of taken aback because they didn't
right,
expect that I would speak on it. But you can't talk
right,
to me. If you can talk to the guy sitting next to me like that, then fine, go
right,
ahead and talk to me like
right,
that. But you know you can't
right,
speak to the guy like that, then don't talk to me
right,
like that.
right.
Since then, that person has not even looked at my face because they were shocked that
Mm,
I would speak up against it.
right, you
And I was
accept it.
like,
Like
you
you're
have to
very
know your
overt
place.
about it. Right,
Yeah.
right.
This
It's
but this only happened because I also grew older and learned to speak up for myself. I
you became
remember,
more confident. You know how to speak up.
yeah. I remember when I was starting internships and stuff, there was this engineering software that I had to learn, or the
Mm,
guys in my office were learning it. But the guy who was teaching it was making advances to me. And so because of that, I couldn't even get close because I had to like always keep that
mm,
space. I couldn't get close
right,
to where they were like
right,
learning and all that. So that was a
right,
disadvantage to me in the end. I wasn't even
right,
able to learn the software. So all these
right.
things create they don't create like a sustainable environment for women to be able to
For
thrive.
women to
'Cause
stay. So it even adds up to like what we are talking about earlier, where women do enter with the exuberance and everything, but then
Mhm.
having to do with all these things. I mean,
Yeah,
the work like a workplace is supposed to be a safe place where, because
exactly.
definitely as a male, I don't think I've had to deal with advances thrown at me by a coworker and felt it so uncomfortable. But I can imagine on like from a lady's point of view, especially when it's coming from
Yeah,
top down, it can, because you're thinking about losing your job because if you're not very professional about it and all that, it's
yeah,
not a nice thing. And I think we can do better. And I think I'd like to appeal to all the men, especially like the young men who are yet to start their families. My dad, I'm very thankful to my dad, the way he brought us up is to socialize your kids to understand that this, like, the woman is equally capable to do, she's equally intelligent. My sister does brilliant stuff. She's a mechanical engineer, but she does balloon stuff and everything, and I know how to cook. Now the
hmm,
fact that I know how to cook is an asset for me. It
hmm.
has nothing to do, because I keep making
A
references in the
basic
Bible
life
because I'm
skill.
Christian. Exactly, because I make reference in the Bible when we're talking about Jacob and Esau. That kind of, they were cooking stew, right? It was stew.
Yeah,
It wasn't. There was no lady there. They were cooking stew. It was on the basis of stew that one lost what
that's right.
his birthright.
That's
So
right. Yeah.
you have to understand that the cooking is supposed to be a basic life skill. You understand me? It's not supposed to be for any specific
Yeah.
gender. On the back of that, let's talk about IT
Um,
education. So I know you
Roman, before you
communicate.
continue, I just wanted to
Yeah.
say something about the
Sure.
women in tech science causing
Right,
disparity,
right,
right? So, like,
right.
I agree with Osima on the raising
Mm,
awareness, the fact that it's also it's an avenue to advocate for change, then also shows that
right,
representation matters, right? But I
right.
also think there are some potential like challenges. Okay, I have a
Mm,
balanced view on this. I feel like it's
mm,
may foster like stereotyping.
mm,
Why am I like saying this? I think like sometimes the
mm,
context in which these words are used can reinforce the
mm.
idea that women's presence in these fields is more of an exception rather than being
Right,
taken as norm. And then
right,
in that case,
right.
as women, we begin to be seen as representatives of our gender than skilled professionals. And then another
Mm,
thing too is there are unintended consequences. For example, you'd realize that women in tech, women in science, women in data, when they begin to be used only for the purpose of marketing and public relations without any meaningful actions backing them, that's promote
Mm,
inclusivity. You realize that these
mm,
things begin to look more performative and contribute to something I'll call
mm,
lip service rather than real
mm,
change. So I think the
mm.
context matters because so at
Right,
this, we're at a point where the good is there, but we also need to acknowledge that people are using these as
right.
buzzwords and not actually doing
Right, right,
any
right.
work.
There are a few bad nuts out there championing some agendas that may not necessarily have very good foundation. And on the back of that, I think this nicely segues into the next question I want to ask, or to throw more light into, because you can, because I believe your community is trying to raise that awareness and build that solid foundation. So let's talk a bit about because you can. What do you guys do specifically? How do you go about your programs and all that? Just throw a bit of light into that area because you can. Yeah, Kweyakie, you can make it. You start since you just go for it.
Okay, so because you can, one of the major things that we do that I find that is very important is mentorship.
Mm,
Okay,
right.
I get people ask, "Do you do training programs?" We will start training
Mm,
programs, but
right.
mentorship is very important to us because for training, I can ask you to go
Mm,
and watch an introductory course on Free Code Camp and you'll be fine. You
mm,
can learn, people have learned to code from Free Code Camp and they're working at Uber.
true.
So
True.
training is not enough.
Right.
And that is something that, of course, we would have training programs, but mentorship is a
Right.
key important thing for us. So I'll just throw some light
Right.
on our mentorship programs. We have year-long mentorship programs where someone is matched with a
Okay.
mentor and they're working with them for a long period of time. So we have
Mm,
our cohort-based
right.
ones. So one is currently running, is goes on for a period of
Okay.
3 months. So you have a mentor
Okay.
assigned to you, and these are in
Right.
fields like software engineering, data science, product management,
Right.
cybersecurity, and
Mm,
yeah, I think these four main these four main fields. And
right.
one thing about the mentorship program that I keep talking about is that you don't necessarily need someone to have 20 years of experience to mentor you.
Mm,
At every
right.
point in your career, you would so let's someone who has 1 year of experience can
Mm,
mentor someone who is just starting out.
right.
Okay.
Because experience
Yes.
is experience, right?
That
Right.
person is mentoring you to maybe help you navigate what courses to take. There's lots of
Mm,
noise out there now. That person can guide
right.
you as to what not to engage in.
Right.
And another thing
Right.
about mentorship that we don't talk about is that this person is there to assist you with. They've been there, they've done that, they've seen the mistakes you could potentially
Mm,
make, and they are there to help you to
right.
not make these
Right.
mistakes.
Right.
Another thing
Right.
too is we are when we talk about training, training is just tech skills. Okay.
Mm,
Tech skills by all means are important. It's to get you the job.
mm,
If you can do your DSA very well, you get your software engineering job. But
right. Right.
what keeps you in those roles? When people are being considered for layoffs, what is it that
Mm,
your manager is going to look at and be like, this person should be kept on? Most of the times,
right.
soft
Right.
skills. How
Right.
punctual are you?
Mm,
How is your email etiquette like?
right.
And these are things that we sometimes lose sight of when we see a lot
Mm,
of training programs. So because she can make sure that we
right.
address these things. So we have partnerships
Right.
like career institutions. And then what they come in to do is
Okay.
that at every month we have like workshops on like CV, even CV writing. Because you realize people
Right.
you teach people how to code, but they never even land a job because they don't even know how to put together a technical resume. Job search
Right.
navigation and strategy, interviewing tips. We
Right.
do all these things as part of our
Right.
mentorship programs.
Right.
So it's a
Right.
holistic experience. It's not just about
Right.
getting you that technical skill. The goal of our mentorship program is that by the end of the mentorship program, by the time you are done with because you can, you are in position to be able to land your first role in the tech industry. And it's proven successful so far.
Mm,
People go ahead to land their
mm,
internships, full time roles. Like some of them, even
mm,
during the program, they are able to land roles of this nature. So yes, that is
mm.
one main thing that we do at Because She Can. Another thing will be our programs that have to do with addressing the, resource gap. Okay,
Right.
so we have our December for Women Who Code project. It's
Okay.
very popular, and people you hear it. Oh, Because She Can is giving out laptops, but it
Right.
is not
Okay.
just giving out laptops.
Mm,
All these women that you see that they are able to get laptops from Because She Can, they are enrolled in a
right.
1 year long mentorship program.
Okay. Okay.
And we make sure that within this 1 year they are
Right.
they are reporting to us. We are looking at their action plans, making sure that they are
Mm,
following through with their action plans, because the fact that you actually have a laptop does not mean that it's even yours forever. If we realize they're not committed to the process,
mm.
we are able to take it.
You have the right to withdraw it.
So um that is one part that is also is something that we do. Another thing that we do also that is
Mm,
like I said in early on about representation
mm.
matters. We have
Right.
a series we
Right.
call Celebrating Women in Tech Spaces. All we do there is just to showcase
Mm.
women who are doing things in the tech space, and it doesn't have to be
I love it.
groundbreaking things. Even someone who
Mm.
is reading computer science in the university is someone we will showcase,
All
so
right.
that that girl who is in SHS who is on our page
Right.
knows that,
Right.
oh, someone is doing computer science. I can also read computer science then.
Mm.
You don't need to let it
Mm.
be because she's hearing that someone is building a robot. It's
Right.
far fetched for her. So I think that's something
Right.
else that we need to talk about. And this is not just
Mm.
Because She Can, like everyone else. When we are showcasing people, I think sometimes we always want to think about the big thing, that big
Yeah.
thing. The person is doing something
Yeah.
groundbreaking, but even
Yeah.
someone just reading a particular course is a motivating factor
Mm.
for one girl out there
Right.
you may never know. So,
Right.
yes, I've said a lot.
Mm. You said a lot. I think Otema, at the beginning she said she is not very much talkative, but she's taken over. Honestly, I think I'm very talkative. I think she's taken over. But most of the times, right, I do realize that these programs have a great vision, right, but then they are unable to reach a particular group of people, especially those in the rural areas who may not have access to some of these things. I'm just wondering what way can we reach that market as well to make such education accessible to them, because I've seen several times um teachers drawing on the board and everything, what word looks like, what PPT, all that kind of stuff. I'm just wondering, Otema, like how, like what possibly can be, or what kind of plans do you think you guys can implement to reach, or anyone in this kind of community building can do to reach out to the parts of Ghana that is less spoken about on a regular.
Yeah, it's true what you said. There's a very big difference when you come to Accra and you
Mm,
see the advancements being made as against going to
mm,
some remote place and then see how they are being taught ICT and all of that.
mm,
But I think, well, for us, a lot. One way that we can reach is through partnerships. So there are lots of NGOs and organizations that have gone into these spaces to teach them
mm.
other things, teach them
Right,
craft making or
right,
incentivize them on certain topics.
right.
So we actually have plans to do that, to go to the north and other parts of
Mm,
Ghana, partner with some of these organizations that are already there. But the thing is, we also, with the help of like the local governments, to also get resources to teach them. At least if they need to see, especially
mm,
with kids, when you are teaching them, you don't need to just talk about it. So you need to see if it's
mm.
just like one laptop or one computer that you send
Right.
there, and then they'll be able to have access to. For example, we work with this NGO, Achievers Ghana, even though they are
Okay.
just in Kokomlemle, but yeah, so
Okay.
they have a center for girls young girls from I think
Mm,
8 years or something to like let's say 16 or 17,
Yeah,
and
some
they
are
have
since
laptops.
right. Yeah, some as young
7.
as
Yeah.
you quite. Oh
Seven,
wow,
yeah, yeah. So
impressive.
we've
Okay.
been there to talk to them, show them how to type. So the thing is, it even starts from it's not even just
Right.
about programming. It's first even teaching them what a computer
Mm,
looks like, how they can navigate it, how
right.
to type. They know
Right.
how to type
Right.
a couple of months. Then later they teach
Right.
them like a
Right.
programming language, some basic maybe
Right.
HTML. From that, then they go
Okay.
to robotics. So they have to see there has to be like resources or money set aside to buy
Mm,
resources like laptops and then access to internet. Because first of all, some of these areas in the remote places don't even have access to electricity. So how are they even going to charge
mm,
the laptops or the computers?
true.
There
True.
needs to be
True.
very very big change in the community before we can
Right.
even start introducing some of these things.
Start
So it requires
introducing.
a lot of
Yeah.
partnerships with people that can make that change. So
Right.
the the government and then the I don't know what they are called, the MCs and all these
Right.
people that they have to make sure that
Right.
they put the basic amenities first
Right.
and then you can build
Before we
on the
can
basic
have such innovation on top of
yes,
it. If
exactly.
not, the
Because
innovation is not sustainable in
it's
the
not
long run.
sustainable exactly.
True. 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 That makes a lot of sense, and because I know a lot of people were like, okay, yeah, let's just go to the rural area, let's just buy a laptop, but there's no electricity.
There's no
they
electricity.
they
So
they
how do
they've never
they
even heard of, they don't even have
Yeah.
the basics of what a computer is, that kind of stuff. Then you send it there, then you have to re-educate them from the start, and you realize that you've sent tools there that they cannot use, and that money and all that could have probably been used to start a foundation that is more sustainable. So that
mm,
is true. Speaking of creativity, I did hear you say you are like the arts. You also said you do content creating whatsoever. So as creative techies, I want to put you guys to the test. All right. So it's two things. You have two options, and I think one of you must choose one, right? So either I'm going to play some music and you have to give me a few bars, but using programming or tech concepts,
bars.
right?
Okay.
So listen, don't worry. Give it your best, but give your best bars. Just play around, like I don't
This
know,
one is for
like
Aki because she likes
I don't
to
know how you say, it, like
around.
I'm constantly walking like I'm in a loop. I don't know. You could play around with tech concepts, but I can never break it because of an if else statement. Just feel
I'm not
free.
about
Just feel
Why?
free. That's two things. Or or you describe your favorite meal using, or how to make your favorite meal using some tech concepts. It doesn't have to just be programming, it can be anything. Just want to see the creativity. That I told you, going to
It's
be
so
some
hard.
tricky questions, so it's not hard because she can. Literally. So if you need a minute or two to just think about it, so who is going to go for describing a meal and who's going
I'll
to
do
do
meal. I
bars?
like food.
Christ. There's no way I'm going to ace this. Like I don't I'm even blank.
Alrighty, so we're back. We're back, and let's see how we go. So, who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? Otema, Kweyakie, who wants to go first?
Aki.
Let's just say mine is the
Okay,
easiest, so I'll go first.
okay. Okay, so yeah, Kweyakie, go for it.
Before anything, it's only a Ghanaian when you ask them what their favorite food is. They'll say one local, one continental.
Feel free, go for it. So let's hear
I'm
it.
going with the continental because it was the easiest for me. I love a very good.
Right.
I love steak. Anyone who knows me knows this. So
Okay.
I like my steak
Okay.
medium grilled. So I'm going to describe it. So ah, so please picture this, right? A
Okay.
beautifully medium grilled steak, the result of a carefully executed recipe. Just like crafting a sophisticated program, the cooking process involves precision and timing to achieve a desired outcome. And the marbling within the steak, just like data points, contributes to its rich flavor profile. And the grill becomes a controlled algorithm that ensures that every side is cooked flawlessly, just as my code is meticulously executed. And as you bite the first, you consider it as the output, the combination of my cooking code. And then the tenderness and then the taste are just the same as successful execution in the world of tech. And this plate, I would say that culinary artistry meets tech precision. And it reminds us that whether it's code or a steak, mastery leads to exceptional results.
Okay, okay. That's nice. Making me feel like I want to have some steak there. That is nice. Wow. That was very nice. I had date. Okay. So guys, we're gonna listen to Otema just give us a few bars with with this beat. So let's go.
I'm giving you just 4 lines.
Okay, let's go.
I'm a coder, a lyricist with a plan, stacking code blocks like a building, a grand slam, OOP in my veins, classes running through the dam, no backs allowed. I'm the death that you can't cram. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Happy.
Nice, 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 nice.
Not
Come on.
much.
So we have a listen, we do have, some bars in there. That's super
I
cool.
hate you
That's
all,
super
just to be
cool.
clear.
Don't worry, we love you more. We do love you more. That was nice. That was nice. All right, so we getting to the end of this episode, and just want to know the big plans you guys have for because you can. I know people will say, "Oh, they just started in Ghana and just a small community," but I'm sure you guys may have definitely you have a scope for the beginning, but you may have some plans.
Oh
What
yeah, yeah, we global
are some of
baby.
the things what's yeah tell me tell us more about some of the things that you guys are looking forward to doing and how possibly we can all leverage our network to help because you can achieve those goals.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay, so
well, you start. Yeah, or go for it.
um, well, yeah, because you can start it in Ghana, but obviously the
Mm,
grand plan is not to remain in Ghana. We want to be the biggest
right.
pipeline for African women. So
Mm,
when you mention because you can, and you are looking for women in tech, you know that the go-to place is us. If you are looking for women in tech, you are coming to us. We have the skilled personnel to,
mm,
if you need somebody to hire in whatever space in technology,
right.
come to us and then we help you. We are placing them in good paying jobs. We are we are mentoring and training women to become the best version of themselves. We are mentoring and training them to be able to think up solutions, to build up new solutions. They don't need to also
Right.
they, to have like an entrepreneurial mind in the tech space. If they need to create something new, we
Mm,
know that these are the kind of quality of women in tech that we have, that we are producing. And with the way that
mm,
we work, or the way that Kweyakie and I think, because you can is going beyond us. So when you hear because you can, it's not necessarily
mm,
associated with Otima or Kweyakie, but
mm,
with all women.
mm,
And the name should live on its own without its founders. You know that we are the founders, but the name should live on
mm,
without us being there. We are
right.
trying to create a ripple effect. Even with our mentorship program, for example, one of our
Mm,
mentees from last year, this year she's a mentor.
right.
That's what we are talking about. We train one
Ooh,
person, that
yeah.
person trains another person, that person trains another person. So we are all
Mm,
learning from each other. All the women that pass
right.
through us are going to be,
Right.
should I say, um, that they are going to help the next woman.
Become
That woman is going to
evangelist for because she can.
evangelist
Yeah.
for
Right.
and evangelist for women in
Right.
tech and for all women across the world.
Right.
Like we
Right.
are creating that ripple effect.
Right.
So if you get something from us, you're able to impact your community one way or the other. And that little girl that you've been able to impact is also going to grow up and impact somebody else. So that's the
Mm,
kind of community that we are building, transcending borders,
mm,
not just Ghana, not just Africa, but globally
right.
as well. So
Right.
yeah, we
Right.
are looking to partner. We are very open to partnerships. So we are looking to partner with companies, other NGOs to reach more women
Right. Right.
inside of Ghana and outside of Ghana, because we
Perf.
do partner with other people in Ghana and abroad. We have
Mm,
community members from Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Ethiopia.
right.
So even though we just started, we still see that because of technology, because of how we work
Mm,
primarily online, we're able to reach people from different parts of the world. So that's what we want to
mm,
just keep on doing and just keep on building. So yeah.
that's nice. That's nice. So how does one sign up? I have a little sister. I have an auntie. I have a grandma who wants to
Yeah,
get
we're not, your
tech
grandmas can
savvy.
sign up. We are not opposed. Yeah, it's
Exactly. That's nice.
how
How do they sign up? Do they just go to the website and just, sign up there, or there is a specific process, is it an interview process, onboarding process? Just walk us through.
okay,
Yeah.
so we
Ultimately you
have
can
our
take, yeah.
social pardon?
Yeah, you can go for it. Yeah.
So we have our social media platforms. So we are
Okay.
on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we are on Facebook and LinkedIn. So when you
Mm.
go to our pages on our bios, you see the link to sign up.
All
And
right.
yeah, that's how to sign up on our. You can
Okay.
also send us a DM if you are having trouble. We are reachable, so we'll
All
respond to
right.
you and then send you the link to sign up. Once you sign up, we
Right.
have a Slack channel where we engage with all our
Yeah.
members. We
Oh,
also
okay.
send
All
emails
right.
out. Once in a while, we
All
do
right.
physical events, so you can join
Mm.
us on our physical events, which is promoted on our social media, so you see
All
when it's
right.
happening. And then
All
yeah,
right.
you can just reach out to us, talk to anybody in the community via our Slack channels. Yeah, so that's how to
That's
get in
nice.
touch. Because she can
That's
everywhere.
nice.
Because she just type
Everywhere
Yeah, because she
because
can everywhere.
and on Facebook it's because she can Africa, but every other place
okay,
because she can.
because you can. That sounds good. Because you can, and what's the
So
motive again?
can
So
And I
because you can, when
I.
you,
can,
so can I. So because you
So
can, so
can
can I. Indeed,
I.
indeed, that is nice.
I want
Yeah,
to add something, yeah.
Kweyakie.
Asma talked
Right.
about like girls paying it forward. She mentioned one mentee being
Yeah,
able to now become a mentor. There
become a
was also
mentor.
like with our laptop donation project as well. We had one of
Yeah.
the girls from the previous cohorts being able to advocate for us to get two laptops donated. So
Wow.
it's just like that. It's like it's the ripple effect,
Right.
and the girls are paying it
Right.
forward. They are
Right.
doing amazing.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
shout out to them
In
as
terms of
well.
numbers, I'm just curious. Like, how many people do you have in your program at the
Which
moment?
of them? Talk about the mentorship
Roughly,
program.
mentorship. Just give us it, like, a few
This
figures,
year,
and maybe cut across.
this is our
Yeah.
second cohort for our mentorship program. We have
Okay.
over 50 mentors and mentees
Wow.
combined.
Wow.
Yes. And for
Right.
our community, our online community says that is uh, the members who follow us. And one thing, Fatima,
Right.
we have to mention is when you join,
Mm,
I mean, fill the form to join because you can. You
right.
receive an
Right.
email to join our Slack channel. So that is where
Right.
you find our community. You find all the channels. There are
Mm,
channels for software engineers, channels for data scientists. There's
data
channels
science.
for
Right.
all of that. You find your place, and we are starting to do a lot of fun stuff on Slack too. So joining will not hurt. And I also
Mm,
wanted to mention that with regards to our goals and the plans that we have for Because She
right.
Can, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about the immediate ones, but we are looking to I mean, we have girls on our various campuses across the country. We are
Right.
looking to start
Right.
campus ambassador programs so that we can have tailored programs
Right.
for
Nice.
these girls because we know
Mm,
that when they're on vacation, they want to get into internships. What can we do to help them? That is the purpose of having campus ambassador
mm,
programs. And then
mm,
finally, to get into
mm,
our senior high schools, because one thing that we understand is
mm.
that the whole point of women not being in tech, a lot of it's also systemic, and we want to catch them young, right? So getting to
Right.
our senior high schools, our primary schools is another thing that we have in the pipeline that we're working on to have like clubs,
Right.
mainly like senior high schools
Right.
and primary schools. So
Right.
yeah. And oh, one last thing, a
Wow.
very big
This.
dream, very ambitious of us, but we talked about it some time ago, is to have like a scholarship program like in some of our universities. So
Wow.
hopefully we get
Wow.
some sponsors who would like to be part of the Because She Can scholarship fund, and then we are able to sponsor
That's nice.
girls.
For me, it's just intriguing to just see that just as a seemingly small concept of, starting a community in Ghana, trying to raise awareness for women in tech and everything. But then the projections, the ambitions and everything are laudable, because like you said, entering into places that, the systemic, that gender disparity is going on is the best way to, correct these things. And I would say I'm very proud of you guys. I know Kweyakie from, because I think I was your TA,
Yes.
right? Really so. And then Otema, I know you from Shosho. I know Shosho, so she has been mentioned. Hey, my friend Otema, tech and everything. I was like, okay, so I connected with you on LinkedIn and everything. But I would say I've just seen online. I know Kweyakie, you got, the young leaders, you got nominated for young leaders something
Yeah.
recently. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've just seen like because she can just grow like very quickly, and it's very impressive. And I'm just here to, just throw more light on the work you guys are doing, and looking forward to seeing you guys at the top. So keep up the good work. I believe there are so many girls out there who need to be in tech, and you guys are great representation, not only in terms of just forming the community, but knowing your stuff. Knowing your stuff is that, for me, that is like my major take out of this. For
Yeah,
every
yeah.
girl to
Even
go in there, know your stuff, own your stuff, and then you will be respected. Yeah, Ultima, you
yeah.
want to say something?
To even add to that, what we tell
Mm,
our community members sometimes when we have like these talks with them, it's not
mm,
just for the fact that you're a girl, so you should be just automatically handed the opportunity.
mm, mm,
What we do now, trying to bring awareness to making girls enter into a tech space, is because
right,
there's an imbalance, gender imbalance.
right,
But
right.
get the work done, you have to make sure you know your stuff. You shouldn't be handed
There
a
you go.
job just because you're a woman, but you should be given the
Mm,
opportunity to show that you have the skills to do the work. So
mm.
that's what we
Yeah,
also preach, because she can.
there we go. So own your stuff, know your stuff, and join because you can, because you can as well. No, I just messed that up. Because you
So
can,
can
so
I,
can
yeah.
so can I. My goodness. Obviously, why I'm not in the facilitators group, and that's why you guys are championing. But thank you so much for joining, making time. I really enjoyed this conversation, and looking forward to seeing because you can become a global phenomenon. All right.
Yay.
Soon.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it,
Yeah, this
except
was
the
fun.
part where I had to.
Honestly, that's my
Oh, your
favorite
rap
part.
was good. I
That
know
was
I
my
would have
favorite
messed
part.
up. Your rap was way better than what I
It
had in
was
mind for
great. It
myself.
was great. It was great. Thank you guys. So, the gender gap may not be closed yet, and women are still seeking opportunities to prove themselves in the tech space without being limited by the agenda. As we continue to champion this great change of allowing women thrive in the tech space, we also have to empower the young ladies in the space to be exceptional at what they do, as that can go a long way to shut down any form of stereotypes. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the TechSef podcast. See you in the next episode.